Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the Monk's Gospel. I'm the monk. I have to tell you my story. I was a man, a typical man, with a family, with a job. I liked money, I liked cars, but I jeopardized my family. Focusing on my job, I wanted to be like the classic man in a suit. I went to university, I studied hard, had a good job. But I neglected my family, and my children suffered deeply. Now, my story and this gospel of mine is one of a caterpillar who becomes a butterfly, and it is through the monk's journey that I got my golden key, as is demonstrated on the screen. My story is that I died. I had a terrible heart attack on a sudden day while I was working. And in that moment, I don't know, something just had to change. I was declared dead for 17 minutes. Imagine it, 17 minutes raised. I'd never saw a light or anything like that, but I just knew I died. When I woke up, I knew I had to change, so I decided to go to the Himalayas after meeting a friend of mine who had been transformed by the monks in the Savannah sages. I went to the Himalayan mountains. I ate the salt. I pilgrimaged, and then I finally was allowed to go to the Savannah sages. This is where I learned what I'm going to be teaching you today. This gospel can change your life, and I can say it for a fact because it changed mine. These are the 7 virtues of enlightened living. First, you must master your mind. You, like Invictus, are the master of your fate, and you control it with your mind. We are incredibly powerful. We just don't know it. 2, you must follow your purpose. Through your life, you have to decide what your goals are, and you have to define them. And it is through this journey of life that if you do define your goals and you start to activate them, then you can live a purposeful life guided by them, as they will take you along to your right destiny. The most powerful thing that really changed me is the practice of Kaizen. Kaizen is a theory, a philosophy of continuous self-improvement. What that means is every day you treat yourself as a project and you better yourself. The monks in the Savannah sages taught me to define my weaknesses and love them, and then work to get through them. The 4th practice, which goes hand in hand with Kaizen, is self-discipline, the ability to live and control yourself. You have to understand time and your priorities towards your goals, and you have to make sure that you are doing all the things that you know you need to do to achieve your goals. 5, all of these are connected, as you can see. You have to respect your time and understand that it is precious and limited, and you cannot even waste one day. And 6, this is something that really enriches you. I was a millionaire. I had Ferraris, I had cars. But the truest thing that really enriched me and made me feel like I had finally made it, that I had finally achieved, is when I began to selflessly serve others. I found out that by serving others, I enrich myself quadruple, gazillion, quadrillion times more than those people themselves, you know? And then lastly, you have to embrace the present. Every goal that you have activated now. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And the great monks taught me this through deep and dark challenges that really tested my willpower. But I had to accept that the present moment is all that I have control over now, and I must use it. And I urge you to do the same. Now, that has been how I journeyed along my story. Now it is time for you. What is your story? You must begin, and I urge you now, every day of your life, to ask yourself the ultimate question of all our lives. How will you measure your life? How will you measure success? How will you measure failure? How will you know that everything you wake up hoping and yearning for has arrived and you have achieved? We live in a world that teaches us about jobs as means of valuing ourselves. We want to have money to feel like we are players in society. But we sacrifice our personal relationships. Or we solely focus on our personal relationships and completely fail economically, and then have to deal with poverty and starving babies. That's not nice. But sometimes those people have a greater sense of joy. So within your story, you have to create your own equilibrium and find your balance. Now, my advice to you is think about your life and your choices as investments. As a businessman, as an entrepreneur, as an artist, as a human being, we all have assets which we invest. The greatest assets of all are time and attention, because through these attention is how you spend your time. Now, we have to make time and attention for our professional lives and how we can participate economically, but we need not neglect our own sense of happiness, and we must take care of ourselves. We must take care of our spiritual joy, and we must also invest in our familial relations. Now this golden circle here is in a full and enriched life, and you cannot focus on one and leave the other, but we need to create space in our life and in our minds and in our hearts and in our pockets as well to invest in all areas of our life. And if we apply the 7 virtues of enlightened living to all of these, we will have made it. Thank you.